MrBeast on pens, yeah? Let's have a look.
MrBeast is good at a lot of things, great even, but when it comes to football, it's safe to say that it's not his strong suit. And with the annual Sidemen Charity Match just 8 weeks away in front of 90,000 fans and millions more watching online, this feels like the perfect moment to break down some of the habits and opportunities that are affecting his game. Things that honestly we've all had to navigate at one point or another. But with the right coaching and progressive drills designed to build real, lasting improvement, those habits can change. Today, I want to focus on the 3 main issues I've seen from watching every touch, every pass, shot, positional decision, and every tackle across Jimmy's short football career. And by addressing those 3 things, I believe Jimmy can quickly become a standout performer in the game, harnessing the potential that's clearly there to see.
Oh, lovely outside of the foot.
Now, Jimmy's played a part in 3 of the last charity matches, often featuring as a wide-sided defender. And it's clear to see why. He's a willing runner, often covering a lot of ground in the game. He chases lost causes,
MrBeast says no.
thinks defensively minded first, and isn't afraid to throw a leg in once in a while. These are strong components, and combine that with the attitude to always do more for his team, goes a long way. And it's that potential I think we can harness. So it's important to realise that Jimmy's not going to be a Mr. De Bruyne anytime soon. He's not trying to dictate play or spray passes, especially with the time frame we have. But at this level, well, most levels actually, contribution, it doesn't come from a highlight reel. It comes from being reliable, right place, right decision, all without panic. And once you view his game, and maybe yours, through that lens, the problems become quite simple to fix. First up, agility and coordination. So whilst Jimmy has an engine on him and can seemingly run himself into the ground,
He's got a bit of an engine on him. Yeah, he does.
told ya. Unfortunately, that only accounts for a small percentage of the game.
Football is anything but running in straight lines.
It's stopping, starting, changing directions, opening your hips, recovering after you commit. It's extremely taxing and requires a whole host of agility and coordination. And that's before you ever get a ball involved. And it's here where I see a big opportunity. The reason he swings and misses so often is sure timing, but more so his inability to move his feet quickly to adjust to the changing picture in front of him. And you see this more clearly often taking multiple steps to change direction, rather than just 1 or 2. Or the long way round, as opposed to a lateral movement, failing to get into position to block a shot. So a very easy way to train this is to do drills and exercises that target those fast twitch muscle fibers that can help you move quickly and at a moment's notice. So hop-in, lateral movements, ladder work. For added coordination and to make it more football specific, involve a ball. Repeat simple drills for 30 to 60 seconds and make it a daily part of your morning routine. Your game will really benefit. Next up is passing. Now what I like about Jimmy is that he has a very simple way of controlling the ball. I actually have a video coming out next week that loosely touches on this, so consider subscribing. So yeah, he often uses the sole of his boot. Doesn't try anything fancy, which is great. But then he goes to pass. And unfortunately Jimmy doesn't have the best passing record. I mean, it's not one of his strengths, hence why it's here. You can see it more obvious in his penalty miss from last year. His mechanics are all off, which is really common for a novice. But it starts further back, here, with a half step. That small adjustment interrupts the rhythm, which means his planting leg lands a little wide, throwing him off balance, putting him out of sync, and the striking leg is bent on contact, reducing the power and accuracy. But worst of all is his focus. Take a look at his eyes. They lift to see what the goalie is doing before he's made contact with the ball. And as a novice, that's a sure way to misconnect. Now the half step isn't actually the problem, it's a symptom.
I've been training my entire life for this.
A symptom of a lack of confidence.
If this was basketball. Soccer, I have no idea what I'm doing. The fact that I call it soccer, they keep getting triggered.
And how do you become confident at something? You do it many times over and over again until you build that confidence.
Here, you can have your job back.
Thank you.
He's just not kicked the ball enough with someone coaching his technique. So with 8 weeks of training, I would spend a lot of time building short passing into his schedule, from a static start to moving the ball, to dribbling and passing, really dialing in his planting leg to get it close to the ball. He likely fears stepping on the ball, which is why it's so far away.
But to get close, you need to sink into your hips a little bit, coming through with your kicking leg, and as you make contact, you want to make sure it's at the peak of the swing, and that's typically when your leg is straight. You can start to see how agility and coordination plays a big role here.
Now it's worth pointing out that his best pass, or at least his best connection, because it goes out of play, the reason he connects so well here and generates that power is because the ball is already moving away from him before he strikes it. That's actually easier, especially for beginners, as you don't need your standing leg as close to the ball. And because the ball is rolling out of your feet, you make contact when your leg is pretty much extended. The timing kind of takes care of itself. So like you see all the time in the professional game, it's often better to shift the ball before the pass to have better control and power over your delivery. What you want to avoid is the bad habit of shifting yourself around the ball, because that's when things start to look a whole world of awkward, and it's a bad habit to get into. Last up is football IQ. This is perhaps the most important aspect of football, and certainly an area of opportunity for most. Jimmy's intelligence on the field, however, is surprisingly good. He tends to stick with what he knows, which I always encourage. Where Jimmy could improve is understanding more of what it takes to move around the field in the most effective way, given his limited skill level. For me, this is the most important aspect. The opposite to this is that winger that tends to take on too many people despite not having the ability to do so. Or those that shoot from way out, or try a switch of play when they can barely kick a ball. Often a simple pass to someone better is way more effective. Working within your limits starts by knowing your limits, and Jimmy seems to know his. Somewhat. But I think he can push further, especially when it comes to defending. Now Jimmy often hesitates when being approached by a player. He's unsure whether to go, or to hold and protect the space. He's a beginner, this is normal. But when you hesitate, you end up not really doing much of either, stuck in this limbo, which gives the attacker the advantage. One of the main defensive principles in football is to be on the opponent's touch, which means to arrive as the player is receiving the ball. You touch tight on their first touch. This is when they're at their most vulnerable, with their head down to control the ball. At an amateur level, most players' first touch doesn't quite stick, allowing you to intercept, or at the very least, rush their decision. It's extremely effective. Now with good players, you still engage at a steady pace, but with a lot more caution and control. This is where your agility drills come into play. They will likely feel this pressure and could make an error giving you an opportunity. But otherwise you're looking to hold them up, slowing down the play to either wait for support or encourage them to move away from goal. Good job, Jimmy. Really prevent diving in and leaving yourself exposed. See ya. Or blocking off the wrong space and opening up a clear path to goal. Now, if Jimmy is hesitant when he's defending the ball at times, mostly through lack of experience, you'll see those same patterns show up when he's in possession of the ball, which is quite common, but it does need to be addressed. For the most part, he actually does a good job of keeping things simple. He'll get rid when he needs to.
That is a Brexit pass. Welcome to England, says MrBeast.
Or find a better player nearby. That's good football and a good teammate. But there are moments where he might have too much time on the ball, where he's tempted by a pass that's not really on. Often, if you just take a sec to look around, there's a more simple pass to keep possession. And for Jimmy, that's what it should all be about. Now, all of these elements we've talked about become easier with time, practice, dedication, and structure, as well as developing a good level of fitness so that you can think clearer and make better decisions the further you go through a game. It's exactly what I teach inside my training program, helping everyday players build confidence by mastering the basics and developing the fundamentals to make a difference on the pitch.
So, MrBeast, if you're interested in making an impact on the field in front of 90,000 people, then just let me know.